I know it's random today with glasses, but I don't know, I feel like wearing glasses today. I just hope you can't see how dirty they actually are. Let me just quick wipe them off on my shirt. See, the struggle with glasses is no matter how often you clean them, they're dirty, always. The second you clean them, dirty. I hate that. I need self-cleaning glasses. Has anybody invented that yet? I hope so. Before we start into the video, the lip of today is the ColourPop and Twilight collab, the Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Team Jacob. A lot of people do like yearly favorites, then half-year favorites and so on, and I thought now that we are like half a year into 2024, let's do something else. And I am not doing like half-year favorites. I want to revisit the favorites that I had at the end of 2023 and just see if I still like them. And I'm clever, I wrote down all my favorites list of last year so that I can go through them, and I will include everything, also eyeshadow. But we're starting with primer, and last year my favorite was the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Primer. I don't have that actually anymore. It's empty at this point, and I haven't repurchased it yet. But I have to admit, there is a new girl in town, one that is actually serious competition to the Traceless Soft Matte Primer, and it's the Danessa Myricks Water Powder Serum. I, for the longest time, thought there is no way any primer, not even the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm, can beat my Tom Ford primer. The Milk Eclipse primer is, or was, very, very close, being very similar to this, but this, y'all, I cannot stress enough how awesome this is. This is super weird. So we're talking about, listen, it's water. It is literally water. And I can drop this here on my hand. It is water. And you don't even see this. You do not even feel it because it just, I don't know, it evaporates. I have no clue what kind of technology is in here, but for my face, that's why I haven't used a lot of it, I need 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever is left I do put on the nose. I love this. It is so awesome. You cannot tell anything, but my hand is ultra matte now, but it does not feel tight or anything. It does not feel dry or like weirdly cracking or so with some of these pore filling primers that do mattify. I sometimes feel that they kind of have a weird heaviness to them. This hasn't. This is it, y'all. If nothing else is coming this year, we have a probably new yearly favorite. For my underpainting glow primer, I cured the Isamaya Skinlacq as my favorite last year, and I have to admit I haven't added anything. No, that's wrong. I added the Natasha Denona Hygiene in these first 6 months, and actually it is like a not so good version of this one. This is, and I think nothing will beat it, the best underpainting glow primer I have. I love this Skinlacq serum. I think just Isamaya Beauty is such a superior brand, and I don't give them enough credit. Now we're talking, because last year my favorite foundation was the Chanel Sublimage Le Teint. And while I still love this foundation, I have tried so far in the first 6 months so many other foundations that are kind of close, not being better than this, but me liking them a bit more. For example, let me just grab my Made by Metro Truth tint. Maybe not really fair to compare a skin tint with a full-on foundation. Maybe for this year I should do separate rankings for skin tints and foundations. That would maybe be a bit more fair. But let me grab 2 other ones that I tried, I think in February. The Louboutin foundation. This, y'all, this is so good that I am not even bothered by the fact that I have to use 2 because this is too light, this is too dark, but both together, perfect mix. This foundation is so awesome, and the more I used it, the more I explored it, the more I wore it, the more I loved it. This is not so much a foundation love at the first use, in my opinion, which the Truth Tint actually was. This is a foundation that, for me, developed like wine, like an open bottle of red wine. It just got better and better and better, and it's it's going to be quite a hard competition in terms of favorite foundations this year. But when we're talking foundation, I'm like, what is my current favorite? Would I still say that the Chanel one is my fave? It is still my fave of all time. I would even consider this at this point becoming a holy grail. You know, I do make a difference between favorites and holy grail, but I just want to add here the Sisley Phyto-Teint Nude to the mix, because this is still kind of in a testing mode, because I did review this already and I gave it a good review, but in my review I was not fully exploring it with the summertime. You know, there is a lot of difference between summer, winter, how foundations work. The more often I wear it, and I specifically try to wear this on super hot summery days, the more I love it. So great competition this year. Maybe Chanel will lose its throne, but maybe Chanel will lose the throne, but it will move to the holy grail status in my collection. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, a holy grail for me is a product that if I am blindfolded and someone would point a gun at my face and say, do your makeup now, tell me what products you need to fulfill this challenge, that would be a product I would pick. One of my other holy grails is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. Favorite concealer was the matching Chanel Sublimage Le Correcteur Yeux one. This is now going to be very, very hard because, again, there is a new girl in town, but I don't think it's quite fair to compare them. Since I got the Made by Mitchell Balm Concealer, don't want to use anything else. And you can't even see that I used this because the pan is just so narrow that you don't get a big of a dent. But what I do is I basically take my, random concealer brush, please. I don't have a concealer brush on my hand. So let's say this one. And then I just swipe a couple times across the pan, and that is enough. This stuff is so creamy, so moisturizing, so glowy, but yet it's able to be settled down. It's able to be set and manipulated with powder. And if you use this, set it with a setting powder, and then add the Made by Mitchell Eyelights finishing powder on top to brighten. Love that. Glowing goddess moment. Made by Mitchell is really the GOAT this year, and I am still waiting for products to come in because I want to do a full face of Made by Mitchell anytime soon, but I'm now waiting for the pore paste, the matching primer for the Truth Tint and the Balm Concealer, and when I tested this, I then will do a full face of Made by Mitchell. My favorite under eye setting powder of 2023 was the Dior Cushion Powder. This is a lavender powder, and here's what it looks like. You have a little net on top. I used this once, but I don't like it. I have my own powder puffs that I use. And so far, nothing beat this. I do admit, though, that I have the new Tarte under eye setting powder in lavender and pink coming in. It hasn't arrived yet when I'm filming this, but I have very, very high expectation towards this powder, and maybe that one is a good competition. But so far, when I look here at my ranking, I have the Dior Cushion at number 1, the Huda Baked Powders in Cherry and Cookie at 2 and 3, then Flower Nose, then Rare, and so on. And the Huda Cherry Pressed Powder is my least favorite. I still go by this ranking. I would still rank it the same way as I did end of 2023. My favorite setting powder of 2023 was the Milk Blur Set. Sadly, this one is not available anymore, so this is discontinued. I do have another one as backup that I haven't cracked open yet, But I think there is a new favorite in town because this just does it. And I actually had it ranked last year too at number 3. But it's currently in my focus box, the Clé de Peau Translucent Setting Powder. I cannot stress enough how awesome this powder is and how good this powder is. This will set down everything you do on your face. This will lock it in, be there, mattify, but not dry out. I love the look of this, absolutely stunning. And to be honest, once this is finished, I am really considering buying the refill of this because I don't think that I want to be without this. But my problem is the packaging. It is so freaking bulky. I do not have enough space here in my drawer. That's why I put it in the focus drawer. So maybe I'm not repurchasing it right away, but I think I do still have a lot of powder left in here. So if you didn't know, you basically have this sifter thing here, and you can actually remove that whole thing on the inside, and then you can just just exchange it. So I don't know what I will do. So far it's not empty. I do have a little bit of time left to decide, but I do have so many other powders. Very, very close to that Clé de Peau one is actually a new one that came out this year, the Hourglass powder. This is so lightweight and beautiful. I cannot feel this on my face. The Clé de Peau one I feel on my face. I know there is powder. This one I don't feel on my face, but when I touch my face, it's velvety and set, which I love with powder. My favorite finishing powder last year was the Chantecaille. Is it the Blur Expert or the Blur and Set? Let me just... Okay, it's the Blur and Set. The Blur Expert is from Sisley. And I decluttered it. Mainly for the reason that the color was not matching. I don't know what it was. There was a photo someone took of me and I looked at it and I was like, why do I have yellow dots on my face? And it is this powder. I wish Chantecaille would do another shade of this because I think they do have only light to medium and medium dark, and it's just not enough. I need a lighter shade of this, but lighter shade doesn't matter because there is a new girl in town, an unexpected hero, one that nobody was talking about. Nobody thought that this will be in the mix this year, but the Givenchy powder pearls. I cannot stress enough how confused I was by the first time I tried these, because when I swatched them with the fingers, it's straight up glitter. And I was questioning, like, why do people love this? But then I used it with a fluffy brush. I wanted to cry. Honestly, it looks borderline like sweat. This finishing powder gives me a beautiful, natural, sweating glow. And if you like that, this is for you. By the way, this is the shade Pearly White from this new fish scale packaging. I'm pretty sure by what other people told me about these powders that not every shade will be that glowy. So I'm still kind of thinking of getting the number 2 Cool Rose that I actually sent back because to me it looked the same, but I guess when I applied with a brush like I do with these, it will not look the same, but absolutely stunning. And although these pearls are probably quite hard to use up, I actually see myself at one point in my life sitting here with an empty container of this. My favorite powder bronzer was the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer in the shade Terra. This is beautiful. This has a bit of a darker tone going on, so actually a tad bit too dark for me. But I can make it work, and since this has a reddish undertone to it, it looks awesome on my skin. But there is a new girl in town. You won't believe it. I was influenced. I got recommended a bronzer by my beautiful friend Lisa. And Lisa was very, very concerned that I might not like her recommendation. But Lisa, girl, your recommendation is currently my favorite bronzer. I'm talking about the RMS Hydra, Redimension Hydra bronzer, and this is the shade Beach Walk Betty. I was, when I first saw these, absolutely unsure if any of these shades will match me, and I totally ignored this launch, although I love the RMS blushes. Not so much the Prosecco Fizz highlighter, not my vibe, it's not punchy enough for me, but I just ignored the bronzers because I looked at these colors and was like, yeah, none of them is good. And then Lisa said, try Beach Walk Betty. I think that one will match you. And you are so fucking right. Honestly, when I look at this here, oh, the pan just came out. When I look at this, I don't think this is going to match me. I think this looks way too dark, way too glowy. But oh, is this the definition of a beautiful, summery, glowing bronzer for pale skin without making you look like an Oompa Loompa? Yes. If you are an NC10 at MAC or somewhat around this, maybe for reference, I also use Ease Drop from Fenty in the shade 1, Made by Mature Truth Tint, I am a BB3, House Labs, I'm 04 Fair Neutral. What else can I give you as reference? Estee Lauder, I am somewhat between 0 and 1 and 1 and 0. I know, very confusing. The Sisley foundation, I'm a 00 and Pearl, and the Lisa Eldridge skin tint, I'm a TT2. If you are somewhat around this range of foundations, get this. Get Beach Walk Betty and thank me and thank Lisa later. My favorite cream bronzer was the Westman Atelier Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. I do have only this one and I still love it. And honestly, when I now just look at my contour bronzer stuff, there are some that I added, but honestly, none of them is as good as this. So this, still favorite. My favorite cream blush of 2023, and this is just one out of all the shades that I have, was the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush, the soft pinch ones. I still love them. I think they're beautiful, but honestly, I haven't touched them. I think the last time I used a Rare Beauty blush was 3 or 4 months ago, and that has a reason. One of the reasons is that I have been doing like blush series with the Made by Mature Curve Case Collective, the nude, lighter and deeper curve cases, and so on. But I also discovered something else that I have been using in between those series with the curve cases and before. And that one is on one side the new KVD Good Apple Blush Balms. They are like the the balm versions of the Rare Beauty ones, but even more intense. They are so freaking pretty. I cannot recommend them enough, and I want to do a series with these two. And fairly new collection, and I think that one is even closer being a favorite this year, are the Glossier Cloud Paints. This is just one. I do have 4 shades, and I have actually 3 more in my cart currently, but I haven't checked out yet. They're absolutely amazing. They blend easy. They look super punchy, intense, but once you apply them, they just blend into this semi-translucent, transparent layer of blush on your face. My favorite powder blush of 2023 was House Labs, and it still is. This is the shade Lavender Blonde. Sadly, this is not available anymore. They repackaged their blushes, added new shades, left out shades, and actually they're now smaller and you get less product. So not a good remake. So what have you thought, House Labs? But they're still my favorites. I do have 4 shades at the moment of them, and I don't plan adding more because I'm very, very disappointed that you pay like €3 less or so, but you have half the product in there. These were beasts, like you have 11 grams of blush in there. They take a while to use up. My favorite cream highlight were the Pat McGrath Fetiche duos. I just took one out. This is the shade Cyber Orchid. It is a transparent one that shifts purple if you have never seen them. You have a highlight color on one side and then a clear balm on the other side. I still love them. They're absolutely stunning, but there's a new girl in town. How many times did I just say this and how annoying am I? And honestly, when I just look here down in my drawer, there is a bit of competition going on between 3 new liquid highlighters. As I said, also cream highlights, but the Dior Forever Glow Maximizer in the shade Pearly is... If you thought the whole time, should I get these, should I not? Don't think, do. Don't think, do. That is the thing here. Don't think, do. Absolutely beautiful highlighter. It looks white, it goes on quite glittery, and it actually looks like a liquid version of the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb. All over, no, what's it called? How Many Carats? That's what it's called. All Over Veil or something like that. The Fenty How Many Carats, you know what I mean. But then there is also a certain type of highlighter formulation that I would call a hybrid balm, because it is a balm, but it feels a bit like a powder, but I apply it like a cream highlighter. One being more so an oldie. This is the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm in the shade Holy Water. I searched the internet up and down for this because this is sold out in most places. I hope I can find a link for you if you want to get this. This is one of those nearly clear balms, but I don't know how much you can tell this shifts purple. And you know, I'm a slut for shifty highlighters. But in that whole like balmy and kind of hybrid thing, there is the Natasha Denona, what's it called? Skincare Infused Glow Beautifier. Can you see there is even a bit of a damage going on here? I didn't want to buy this, but at the end, my curiosity of what the fuck is this product was so intense, I just couldn't ignore it anymore. So I got it, I tested it, I fell in love, and I used it, I think, for like 2 weeks straight after I got it. So this is going to be a very, very interesting competition this year. My favorite powder highlight last year was the Chanel Le Symbols. This is from their limited edition Christmas collection, and this is the shade Pearly White. This is great. This is awesome. This is fallen, frozen snow that is just sitting there at the ground. The sun is shining, it's minus 20 degrees Celsius, you're freezing and the snow's crisp, and just painting this picture in my head gives me some feelings. You know, I'm very weirdly attached to makeup, but I found something. I found something so incredibly beautiful that I don't know if this will make it to the favorite this year. I found something so incredibly beautiful that neither is high-end and super expensive like Chanel, nor is it limited edition. This is available the whole time on Look Healthy store, for example. Yes, finally an Asian makeup item. You probably were like, when is she going to mention some Asian makeup? But to be fair, I haven't tried a lot of Asian makeup when it comes to foundation and base products, more so for the glow, for the lips, for eyes. And I hold up all of them. This is kind of embarrassing. I have 5 shades of them now. These are the RMT, and I think RMT stands for Romantic Cosmetics or something. The Vientiane Chameleon High Glosses. Yeah, Romantic Beauty is the name. And Vientiane, is that right? It's Vientiane, and then Chameleon High Gloss. I do have the shades 10, I think it's quite obvious that this shifts purple, 02, and I cannot remember what this shifts because 3 of these that I was just showing you, I just got today. So I ordered more because I love the other ones so much. Then I have the shade 011, don't know what that shifts to. The shade 08, that one shifts blue. And then I have 01, I think that one is a golden champagne one. One was more greenish rainbowy and one pink. So it's getting interesting when it comes to use them. By the way, if there is anything you want to purchase, no problem. I will have links in the description box down below. And If you want to purchase one item here out of this video, I can already tell you, do the highlighters. If you love intense highlights, these are it. Face palettes. This will be hard. Last year it was the Blend Bunny one, and I haven't pulled it out yet. So let me just very quick, hi, I'm still here. Let me just very quick grab it. The Noctilucent one. This is a 6-pan highlighter palette with beautiful shifty highlighters, obviously. But the thing is that in 2024, Made by Mitchell came around the corner and was like, Curve Case Collective, Curve Case Lighter, Curve Case Deeper, Comet Case. And I was like, can you please stop at this point? Because I cannot store them anymore. But they're so fucking beautiful. So honestly, let me grab them. I think this year the decision will be made somewhat around or between these cases. Curve Case Collective XL, if you remember, a 24-pan cream blush palette I still love to death, although my series has ended. Then let me grab them. The Curve Cases, Lighter Than Light. I have a full-on series with that. Then we, of course, have the Deeper Than Deep. That one is currently going on as a series. And then let me grab that one too, see how prepared I am. The Comet Case that has highlighter and to me actually here also like high blushes. I haven't touched that yet for my face. I just face swatched it and love you already. But please, Mitchell, please stop it. I can't anymore. I really can't. So just to show too, my favorite lip liner of 2023 was just in general the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats. I still love them to death. I don't think that I added a lot. Oh, I do add a lot. I did. I added the new Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shade pencils. They're very pretty. They're actually very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one, so I don't know which one will win this year. Now it gets interesting because last year my favorite lip product out of all my lipsticks and lip glosses was the Natasha Denona My Dream lipstick. And I would lie if I tell you that this is not still a fave. But this year, my whole complexion changed. The way that I style myself, the way that I do my makeup changed a bit. In case you didn't notice, I am doing a lot of deep goth looks if I'm not testing out palettes. Even if I test out palettes, I try to achieve something like that. So in general, my whole makeup love this year shifted away from luxury. I still love luxury and high-end makeup, but it shifted away to Chinese beauty, Asian brands, Chinese brands, and it's very, very hard to give one certain item here the proper name of current favorite. But if I had to, it's the Girl Called Matte Lip Creams. Honestly, I don't know what the exact correct name of these is. I should write it down somewhere, but even in my Excel spreadsheet, I just save them as Girl Called Matte Lip Creams. But at this point, I have a lot of shades. And I just realized that I grabbed the one that I want to give away. Yes, there will be a giveaway soon on my Instagram profile with a lot of Asian beauty. Haha. First of all, these two are from a specific line and these two are from a specific line. This one is more so dark and intense ones. This is the shade M60, beautiful oxblood red. And then I have also the shade G73. This is black. Or is it black? No, it isn't, because when it dries down, there is the slightest amount of red coming through. It could be just the shade formulation in general, but I think this is on purpose. And the two new ones that came actually in the same order that the highlighters are the shades M59. So I haven't even touched them myself. Ah, beautiful nude, look at that. That's a very, very pretty color. And I also picked up M58. Ooh. More peachy than I thought it is, but still very pretty. Can amp it up with a gloss. Because I wanted to have some nudes in this formulation. I'm not a big matte lip, like liquid lip girl, but these, so comfortable, can't feel them. What you all have been waiting for is the favorite eyeshadow palette. I know that. I know you. If there is any makeup item that I have tested the most this year, it's eyeshadow. It is and forever will be eyeshadow. My favorite last year was the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette. I am a bit surprised that we haven't heard anything new about the brand. There was no spring launch, no summer palette yet, and that is actually a bit concerning and disappointing. I think they also have been very quiet on their Instagram account. I haven't checked in a while. And the palette was named the best of 2023 for me because of, you know, numbers. This, like, the qualities for me the best, the color story, my personal excitement, all 10 out of 10. And when I look now at this Excel spreadsheet that I have, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are ranked higher than my current favorite. And how should I explain this? I want to call this my currently favorite palette, not because I use it all the time, definitely not. I haven't touched this in, I think, a month or so. It is also not my favorite palette because it has the best formulation or so, or the best packaging, or gets me excited that I want to wet my pants. No, this is my favorite palette because this was the one palette that in the beginning of this year got me, that sucked me into Asian beauty, and I'm talking about the Cheery Up Dragon palette. In case you didn't know, and they are actually called Chen Yen, I think, but they renamed themselves on Instagram and are now called Cheery Up, so I have no clue what's right. It's this big ass long dragon palette. This is a 32 pan beauty. Does it fit in the frame? Yes, now it does. Honestly, the quality is really good, but not outstanding. Some shades in here have so much oil in them, I can't use them, like this one. The mattes, not very versatile. The packaging, ultra cheap. Like, this is all cardboard glued together and I have to re-glue it the whole time. But the looks that I've created so far with this are all in 12 out of 10. My excitement when I look at this palette is a 50 out of 10, and this is the reason why I kind of found my way into Asian beauty, why I connected with Asian beauty brands, why I was able to get PR from Haggard, work with Look Healthy store and so on. This palette is the reason. And I love it so much that I call this, at this time of the year, my favorite makeup palette in my collection. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe because I do fun videos, and if you don't know what to comment because you maybe do not have such extensive favorites or extensive feelings as I have, then no problem, just comment dragon. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next one.